So hello everyone, this is Christina, your Gradsquare mentor, and as we all know that the IPMAT Rohtak 2024 paper was over yesterday, right? So it happened over a single slot, and I'm here to just give you a brief analysis, okay, on how the paper looked like and what could be the expected cutoffs. Okay, so it just took a little bit of delay because we are talking to students and getting the information, because we are not allowed to write the paper as per the age limit. So it took us a little more time to come out with a detailed version. Right. So here, first of all, the overview of this IPMAT Rohtak 2024. So this happened on 18th May. Okay, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So as usual, okay, though in the website they mentioned that the number of questions is in each section. There are 3 sections: quants, logical, verbal. The number of questions is 14 each, and they have a specified time limit of 40 minutes for each section in the website. But this never happens. Okay, so this time also there was no sectional timer. That means you could switch in between the sections, okay, and choose where you want to spend more amount of time for yourself. Okay, and there was no on-screen calculator. Okay, so as we say in the classroom, you always have to rely on your calculations rather than the calculator here. So there was no change in pattern. Everything was ditto similar. Shuffling between the sections was allowed, and this was good because there is no sectional cutoffs here, right? So the ones who were finding quants difficult, they could have first gone and finished off the verbal and the LR and then come to quants and like that. Okay, so the overall verdict of this paper is it was a moderate paper. The last year paper was very easy and the cutoffs really went high. Okay, so this time it was not such an easy paper. It was on the moderate side. Okay, the results of this can be expected from June first week or to second week maximum. And then the IPMAT score will take overall weightage of 45%, the PI 15, and then your 10th and 12th will take a weightage of 20% each. So this is how your merit list, final merit list will get prepared. Okay. So usually Rohtak has a percentage, a 4 to 5% ratio to call the number of students for the interviews. Last time it really went down, but this time we'll have to check whether it sticks back to that particular percentage or not. So getting on to each and every section. First of all, starting off with the quantitative aptitude. The quantitative aptitude this time was much more easier. See, number system, there were 3 to 4 questions. SACI, randomly there are 4 questions. Okay, and see, all these now are not as per hours. Okay, I told you we have taken so much of time to collect information from the kids. Okay, because we are not allowed to write the exam due to the age factor. So these are all approximately, so plus or minus on maximum. Okay, time and work, there were 2 questions. There was one pipes and system based question also included in it. Time, speed and distance question mostly included of trains and boats and streams. That was the review. Ages, there were 2 problems. Averages, 2 problems. Mixtures, 2 problems. Okay, and look at this probability and PNC, there were 3 to 4 questions. All the questions were very easy to moderate. Okay, geometry, 3 questions. Ratio proportion, 3. Percentages, 1. Profit, loss and discount, 3. The Venn diagram, set based Venn diagram, 2 questions. Clocks and puzzles. Okay, and again here there was one calendars problem also. Within this 3 to 4 questions, there was one calendars problem also. Okay, and then algebra, basic algebra, I mean just 5 to 6 questions. Okay, there were not difficult questions from quadratic equation. There were no difficult questions from functions and all. Okay, so the level of questions were comparatively very easier this time. Okay, so no higher level maths problems as well in this particular paper. So you see that there were a few questions of LR also mixed with this, like clocks and calendars, one puzzle, that all no, which usually comes in the LR section had come in the quant section also. Okay, similarly a few questions from the quants part had gone there also. So there was a interchange of question, but yeah, that doesn't really matter much. Okay, so overall there could be 32 attempts, 32 plus, minimum of 32 plus attempts made in this particular section. Now why am I saying 32 plus is the questions were comparatively easier, but what happens is students now mostly we go with the verbal ability first, finish it off in 18 to 20 minutes, then we go to the LR section, okay, give it a solid 50 minutes or something like that, and then we come to the quants for the remaining 15 minutes, okay, or a maximum of 1 hour. So usually you have so much of time to sit down and do quants paper. So had you got so much of time, you could have even completed the whole paper. 39 to 40 questions. There are students who have actually done 36 plus questions also in this particular section, okay. But since this time verbal was a little more trickier, LR was a little more trickier, and you got to spend a little more time extra on those, okay, the time that is given for quants actually went down a bit, and that is why I'm saying that the number of attempts for this could be 32 plus, though the paper was very, very easy, okay, this section, okay. And then now going on to the logical reasoning part. In the logical reasoning part, again remember that this set of questions now were very, very easy, but the only thing is there were a few questions like that linear arrangement problem, which actually took you a little more of time to sit down and crack it out, okay. So if you had got stuck with those kinds of problems, then again this really would have gone for a toss. So there were questions which were based on the statement assumption, critical reasoning 3 to 4 questions, syllogisms 3 questions, all doable. Seating arrangement, so there were circular arrangement questions as well as linear arrangement question. And the linear arrangement, there are 2 questions. Those were the ones that were a little bit confusing. So those questions, now the moment you read it, it should actually have been left out, okay. Or if you had finished the whole section and then you still thought that okay, I still have some more time to bet on this particular section, then you could have done it. Otherwise, that had you got stuck with that, then I think no, you could have done 2 to 3 extra questions rather than sitting and attempting that and even getting it right, getting it. So age problems, see the age problems occurred, quants topics, okay, age and probability occurred here also. So there were 4 questions overall on these, okay. Family tree and blood relation, there were 2 to 3 questions. Now data sufficiency, 1 or 2 questions were there. Data interpretation, 1 set was there. Again clocks and calendars, again in this particular section also 1 question each. You had analogies, 2 to 3 questions, coding decoding 2 questions, cubes 2 to 3 questions, okay, and there was 1 question on dice also, and series there were 2 to 3 questions. Now the only thing here was that the timing was not enough, okay. So usually we take 50 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes to finish off this section, but this time the timing was not enough. So had you left off the correct questions, okay, then you could have finished 33 to 35 questions from this particular section within the given time limit. Okay, so the paper, this section now was easy to moderate, but yes, few questions being tricky and making you spend more time on that. That actually was the major part of this paper. Okay, if you had eliminated those kinds of questions, then you would have figured out that okay, 33 to 36 questions definitely were doable. So a good attempt, I would put it 33 plus because it was on the easier side. Now going on to the next part. So the verbal ability. The verbal ability usually students finish in 18 to 20 minutes, even in the mocks everywhere, okay. But this time, the vocabulary based questions were slightly trickier, okay. And reading comprehension also, if you saw, there were 2 short RCs. There were 2 short, two short RCs were there, okay. So one was a poem based one and the other was short. There was one RC which was very, very long or lengthy read, okay. So students might have lost their patience with that, but again, that was also a bit scoring, okay. So doing the RCs is always advantageous, but if you did not have time to read that long lengthy one, then you could have omitted it because the time here, the questions turned out to be trickier in the vocabulary part, so you had to save some time. So had you left out that lengthier RC, that was fine, but all the other RCs definitely should have been done, okay. Now here reading comprehension, yes, there was some sentence completion. These were easy questions. Odd one out, again 2 questions, easier questions here. Analogy, spelling correction, antonyms, synonyms, okay. Now these were the parts where the questions were made a little bit trickier, but remember that see, vocabs anyhow, now whatever you study, okay, is always a challenge for the students. But this time, okay, you saw that though the questions were trickier, at least 50 to 60% of the questions were very, very doable, okay. So you could have done those and omitted the remaining vocab questions. Okay, how many? Maximum 3 to 4 questions you could have omitted them. Okay, so instead of omitting this RC, had you omitted it, that would have become a much more better thing for you. Okay. And then sentence improvement, there were 2 to 3 easy questions. Paragymnals, 2 to 3 questions. Okay. Idioms, phrases, one word substitution, there were 2 to 3 questions. Okay. So the major problem only with that was the vocabulary and the lengthy RC. Other than that, okay, this was the other questions were easy. Those two are the long RC and the vocabs made it a little more towards the moderate part. Okay, so that is why this time many of the students, okay, who used to generally finish off in 20-25 minutes ability, some of them have gone to 25 to 30 minutes also on this. So they had to reduce 5 minutes in the other 2 sections. They were lowering the number of attempts in those 2 sections, LR and Quants. Okay, so now let's have a look at the overall verdict. Okay, see, the overall verdict now is as per the students, this was a very moderate paper. Now the number of questions that the students have attempted, okay, most of them that I've spoken to have done 90 plus questions, so which means that 85 plus were the very easy to be done in the paper. So 90 plus was from where you had to start with a little bit of extra struggle. Okay, so most of them are in the 90 to 100 question range. Okay, so anyone, my dear, so most of them, okay, most of them that I have spoken to are in this particular range. So anywhere, if you have attempted from 98 to 105, then you can put yourself in the safer upper 3 to 4 percentile. Okay, and you can definitely expect a call here. Okay, and remember that number of good attempts means the accuracy should be above 90%. Okay, it is not that you have attended 100 questions, 105 questions with accuracy very bad. That doesn't work out. Okay, so general safe score. Okay, let us also here now look into these safe scores for the previous years. Okay, like if you looked into the year 2021, okay, 2022 and 2023, this is for 24 that I have written it down. For general 2021, okay, 265, okay, and then 306 for 22, and then here 409 for 23. The paper was very easy, and then the cutoffs had shot up so high. Okay, but this time, since the paper is moderate now, I would like to keep the safe score to 370 plus. Okay, and then EWS category, okay, as per 197 here, 261, 376 in 2023. Okay, now as per this trend, okay, keeping the same proportionality, the so general is the only one that I've predicted, others all depending upon the previous year patterns. Okay, so 330 plus. The OPC you saw initially was 179 for 21, for 22 it was 219, then here it was 349 last year. So this year it's expected to be 280 plus. Okay, and see, this is the reason that every time now before you apply for any paper we tell you that keep your certificates ready, the community certificates and all ready. Most of you do not listen to us. Okay, so anyone who is going to apply for the next year and who is an aspirant, okay, so please, my dear, if you fall into any of these categories, please apply for your category certificates, okay, as per the dates mentioned in the notification. And then SC, 119 for 21, 154 for 22, and last year it was 274. So this year, keeping the same trend, it's expected to be 230 plus. And ST, it was initially 52 in the first year 21, 66 in the year 2022. In the year 2023, that is last year, it had gone to 201. This year we expect it around 170 plus. Okay, and also the number of registrations has been shooting up. 11k registrations in 2021, 12k plus registrations in 2022, and here it was 13.9 approximately, so 14k approximately registrations in 2023. So only when the results come out, okay, the short list comes out, then the officially they will be declaring the cutoffs, and they'll also be declaring the number of applicants for this year. So this year it is definitely expected to be more than 14k, okay, because more number of students are now getting aware of this particular exam. So this is how it's going to go. So this is all about the paper, my dear, and this is all about the score. And one more thing I would like to tell you is the score can go with plus or minus 10. Now, why plus or minus 10? I will tell you. There were, I think, two questions that had an error in the verbal part, where they had told you find the error in the underlined part and all, but there was no underlining there. So there was one question that was wrong as per the question, as a permutation combination question. So that also no. So like we couldn't get the exact question. Okay, the exact paper was not there, so we couldn't verify it. Okay, but these three questions, okay, so were wrong. So you do not know whether they gave you 4 marks each for each question, or only those who have attempted have got it. So all those factors are there. Okay, so that is why you can always do a plus or minus 10 from the cutoffs that we are mentioning. Getting it? So with that, then I would like to wind it up, and all the best for all of those who have written the paper. Okay, wishing you all the best. I wind up with this particular session. In case of any doubts regarding the preparation of IPMAT, okay, or for any other BBA exams, okay, we will be sharing the contact in the description. Please do get in touch with us, right? Thank you so much, everyone.